All right. Here I am. Bam. Let's see. What's happening? Yeah, sorry. I'm just getting my shit together. Let me see. Anti-application window. Mhm. There we go. Damn, finally some VJ loops. I'm gonna do that, but as soon as I'm done fucking around over here for a minute, just in case you want to learn some shit, working on a just an hour set of some bass house that I wanted to make. So basically, just putting that together, and that's it. And let me see. Let me organize my windows so I could see what the fuck I'm doing. All right, so I don't really work on MIDI tracks, so I delete and delete those. What's up, Lou? What are you doing? Come over. We can make a mega mix like back in the day. Ah. So let me see. Basically, I got to get my mix started. So I'm going to use maybe some sample loops and sounds. Oh, here we go. No, not that one. Some synth vocal effects. Maybe this. No, let me get my audio up. No, not that one. And let me remove my some synth vocal effects. Maybe this. No, let me get my audio up. No, not that one. And let me remove my some. All right, turn that down. Turn down for what? Yeah, this whole part of doing it on StreamYard, not the easiest. No. That's the whole thing. The whole purpose of this idiot is because I want to do it on Ableton. I could do a live one and it'll, come out just as good. It's not the point. The point is that there's times when you can't turn up the music, or you're a DJ and you got the great ideas, but you want to or put them in a particular order and stuff like that, or you want to do more things than you can actually do. Maybe add some acapellas on top of stuff, and you want to really think about it and make it perfectly work. So you don't try and do that on the live. I mean, you can, but it could come up a little sloppy if But this is just another option. Obviously, here's the thing that everybody needs to understand. There's two kinds of DJs. There's the DJs that can, and there's the DJs that can't. I'm the DJ that can do both, but that I have the choice whether I want to do it or not do it, live or not live. But yeah, I can do both. What up, Bruno? What's happening? What's popping? So yeah, that's the whole thing. Since I can do both, I choose to make a choice. So why worry about whether I can or can't? It's an option. It's a choice. So let me see. Let me get my audio working properly for live. Change my preferences and make sure that I have audio output under Let me see. Input, output, Roadcaster. And there we go. As you can hear it. Scared the fuck out of me. So those are little sound effects that I have that I could kind of start shit up with. Like, for example, this one. And I'm going to go ahead and turn up my BPMs to 126. 126 BPM. That's the beat that I want to stick around on. That's right. We can, Bruno. We can, bro. So vamos, let's say I wanted to get it started with this sound just as an introduction, and maybe you put a DJ drop, whatever the fuck. So here we go, 126 BPM. So you got this little kind of like it's a build-up. I want to use a build-up to start my mix. So I don't. You get the gist of that. At some point, I want to go ahead and have my beat begin. This is just basically so if you want to loop things around, you could size up how far in you want to loop shit. So now let's look for a first track. I go through Serato to look for my tracks. Let me see something with bass house. Let me see. I'm gonna minus up my size of. So here we go. I don't like anyone. I'm gonna use that track. Let me see. Don't like anyone. Let me put this over here. So basically, I'm gonna drop the track where I think I'm gonna actually want it to start, and it'll be there. It's gonna analyze the track now, and most likely, if it's like this kind of music, it figures out, everything perfectly. Okay, so basically we have it here, and it's going to show up here. The reason why it's not going to mark off any yellows is because it's quantized it properly for my imagination. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. So let's go ahead and hear from the first beat. So we want to make sure it's right on the first beat. You can analyze this a little better. As you can see, it's not exactly on the first point. So you want to put this on the first point. And you start your 1-1 here. That's where you want the track to actually begin. So when it plays the first beat, it's going to play from this point. And it's the whole song. And you could, check the beats on it like that. As you can hear, that is right, but that rising thing suena como pinga, so peace the fuck out. So we're gonna come up with a better intro. There we go, something simpler. Coño, me acabo de su madre, se me fue. So on a simple set. So let's go. So here from the beginning. There we go. So that's pretty good. So in the case of working on a mix, it's not like working on a track. It's a whole lot simpler. To give you an idea, you're going to want to find out where you're going to mix the next track. So I'm going to take off this little ping pong thing. So here we go. So basically around here, you can add a locator if you want to. This is basically, that's where I'm going to go ahead and mix the next song. So basically I set a locator on there. So that's where I'm going to go ahead. You don't like it? Since we got a delay, I don't know which one you didn't like, the intro, the first one with the rah, 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 or the second one that I just dropped in, or you don't like anything because you're decade, you're just a haterator. All right, so let me go ahead and now come up with a second bass house track. I am ready. So I'm gonna drop in I am ready where I think I'm gonna want to drop it in sort of. You don't have to really worry about that yet. You're gonna first let it, set itself up on the quantize and make sure that you got the first beat right on point. It usually will always do this, that it's not exactly on the point. If you know how to work it differently or you have settings made differently on that, to work differently, then awesome. Kudos to you. Leave me a comment on how you do that. I'm not really let me go ahead and say that now. I'm not an expert on this shit. I just know how to do what I want to do. And it's the way I kind of set it up. So, by the way, I use the first track usually for sound effects and, stuff like that. Then I'll make later on a second track that I'll put right above it, track number 2, which will be DJ drops if I want to go ahead and put DJ drops on it. So let's go ahead and see where it's supposed to begin. And as you will notice, this, by the way, it's not, the first track is not perfectly quantized because it would have dropped in right here on this point and it didn't. But I personally don't give a shit, so I could go ahead and manipulate the track to land right there, and I don't have to be worried about the bing, dong, ding, dong. I don't worry. I really don't. Not for an hour mix. If I really want to work on something like a freestyle or other kind of tracks where I really need to worry about quantizing, then I will follow the quantize to a T. So that's, so as you will hear, they're both together now. I already know that over here I'm going to delete this one. And this is where it's going to finish. I am ready. Now, I am ready. That was the easy part. The next part, actually, where we can go ahead and get a little more complicated, is going to be that you just don't want to mix them up like that. You want to EQ things. So I'll take this track, for example, and I will go into audio effects, and I will do an EQ3. So I'm dropping this EQ in there for this track, and I'm going to go ahead and cut some of the lows. Now, how you do that is, first of all, you got to hit over here so you can see where the lines are on the cut. Before on the Ableton 10, it was a little different, but on this one, 11, you got to do that part. And then I'm going to mark down where I want to start cutting the low, and then I'm going to cut down the low almost all the way to the end like that. And then in the same note, I'm going to EQ3 on this track, and I am going to raise the bass as it's reaching here because this is already where the bass of the actual track is. So it's kind of like when you're mixing and you got your EQs going and you're trying to start the new track with less of the bass and remove the bass from the track before so that you're kind of blending. You could do that even with your mids and stuff like that if you want to get, into it a little more, but this is what it's going to sound like. As you will notice, slowly but surely over here, the EQs will be switching up. Yeah, like that. And this one's going to be dropping the bass all the way down to 0. And then it'll be perfect for right there. I am ready. So that's a perfectly clean mix right there. I am ready. Yeah. Bad fucking track. Love this jam. All right, so we got track 1 and 2. And that's, that's pretty simple. So now let's go ahead and grab another one. I think it's on this one too. Also, Muchacho. This one right here by Volak. So we can drop in Muchacho. I'm going to drop it in somewhere like right around here. As you can tell, that's the concept of it. Sometimes you want to mix them longer. This was a short, quick mix on this track. It didn't need a lot. But there's some tracks that you want to go ahead and you want to extend that mix so it kind of like blends in fully for a while. But before I even get into that, let me go ahead and set up the track properly. And by the way, I like to usually put this on mixer and volume so that, if I can lower or raise volumes, which I didn't really do on this one, by the way. I could have lowered this volume a little as it went down here, and I could have raised, started lower from this one and started raising it. I didn't need it. It was pretty much unnecessary, but I will do it on the next one just to give you an idea on how that works. Let me see. So here we go. We got the next track, and bam, this one's on point. Look at that. Fucking beautiful. Why can't everything just always work? Let me see. So let's go ahead and imagine where I usually, I'm not going to lie to you, I visualize the idea of how it's going to be. So for example, I kind of could see how this will be here. And then what I do is I move it a little over like this. I start hearing it. So here you go. Now, you want to make sure it's on perfection. So by here, I'm going to want this volume all the way up. So then here's what I'm doing, as you will notice. And I'm going to drop this volume. Actually, that's a gain. My bad. Mixer, volume. And then from here, where this one cuts in, I want this one to start cutting out. And you can listen to it, and if it's too much, you can always bring it up a little. And boom, fucking beautiful. Again. Now these are flawless fucking mixes. Obviously, you're doing everything on Ableton. You could make sure that, there's no space for mistake. You could perfect it. So that's, what you're trying to do on this level. So basically, it sounded perfect going in. Now, here's the thing. I could go ahead and take it on, an extra level and use some of these effects here. Like for example, and I put it in here for, on track 1, like I said, where I dropped the effects. Let's imagine what it sounds like. I want to drop the volume on it a little. Fucking amazing. Simple as that. And you just added something. It didn't really need it there, for example. Maybe you could use it elsewhere, like here, as it's building in. So let's start it a little bit beforehand. And now you see where it ended there. We could actually add an effect, audio effect. Go to audio effect rack, and there's a performance DJ and a fade to gray, which is fucking phenomenal. I'll raise it up and then take it down to 0 here because we have other things that we were using. And then over here, as it starts disappearing, I'll take it away. So, here we go. in there. There you go. You have a good effect. And there you have that. So that's track number 3, all set and ready to go. So this is what it's looking like so far. Let me get out of here. This will have more space. So as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and size this up a little. I don't know that much on that one. And this one's already done, so I could clear this and this end. So now we got track 3 that we already created into the mix. And let me see. All right. Let's put another one in there. Let's see. We did I don't like anyone. That was that. We did this one. I'm gonna go ahead and go into another folder of Bass House. Let me see. Do I have any Bass House there? Got a Bass House here. All right, let me get a track in there. Secrets, fucking amazing track. Here we go. So we're gonna drop in Secrets over here. We're gonna let it build up. And like I already know these songs, so I don't have to really be going crazy with it. But as you can tell, it built up just fucking amazing on there. So I can visually imagine where I'm going to drop this in also. As you can see, I mean, you could always tell that this is like the point where it goes in. This is where the song actually begins. This is all intro beat. So we're going to go ahead and set up mixer on this and put it on volume. And just drop it a little. And we're going to do the same thing on this one and drop it just a little. So now here we go. Let's hear how it sounds. And see, that could have been a problem. As you can tell, it's kind of like an earlier beginning to things. I don't know why that was the case, but luckily we could fix that. See, right there. So we're gonna have to do some adjustments at the end. We're gonna drop it even more here. So I'm gonna remove a little bit. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay. So this could be a little sticky because it has a little bit of a emptiness over here, and then it goes into the track. It's a weird way of entering. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that fade to gray that I showed you before, and I'm gonna go ahead and start creating a fade to gray up into here. Let's hear how that sounds. I'm going to end it over here. I think I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like it. So let's. So I'm gonna take that out. Okay. I'm gonna use auto filter. So here we go. Auto filter, you have to hit record. All right, so we added auto filter to that. And let me see. I'm wondering if whoever is watching has Ableton. If you got Ableton, let me know. Just for the fuck of it, so I can know if you're. Let me see. So I did that. I'm gonna go ahead and once again, I'm gonna add a little. No, nothing like that, but something simpler. Let's see. Take it up to the top. There we go. Look at that. Now that made it a whole lot better. It's just a filler. So. I went ahead and lowered that effect because it was kind of strong, and I don't want it to be that strong. So yeah. So let's see, people. We are exactly 4 songs in, and it's fucking been simple as fuck. And if you know how this works, we've been on 126 BPMs. We are 16 minutes into the mix. So we got 16 minutes of music so far. And it's all nice. Oh, something that I do, and some people might critique this or whatever the case. And these kind of songs, like, these house tracks, they're all pretty well volumed. They don't have any issues with volume, so they kind of go well together. You don't have to be messing around with turning this one up or turning that one down. Most of these tracks all work very well together. So you don't have to worry. But what I like to do is I like to make sure that they don't get too loud or anything. So I take the full master on the bottom here, as you can see, the yellow, and I click the master. I go into audio effects, and I set up a limiter and a compressor. So here's the compressor. And limiter should be a little lower here. Here we go. Here's my limiter. So when all the tracks are going to be the same. Full volume, full compression to the same level. So everything's going to pretty much sound the same, which is, what I hope for in that case. So that's what's going on with that. You got questions or anything like that? You got concerns or anything that I can help you with? A ver. Let's see. Let's find another jam. Let me see. This might be a good one. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and drop this one. This is a little more Latin flavored, but it's still bass house. And once again, boom, right on point. So let's go ahead and set that up.
When it was every time, yeah, not the roll. She know how it goes. I'm my favorite secret, she likes to keep close. She know how it goes. Secret, she likes to keep close. She know how it goes. She know how it goes. She know how it goes.
On point. So let's hear it again from the beginning.
I'm my favorite secret, she likes to keep close. She know how it goes.
There we go.
She know how it goes.
As you can tell, everything's riding perfectly. All the way down to the end. Now you see, I mean, nothing wrong with, here, hold on. There's nothing wrong with that point where there was that extra piece. It's supposed to be a piece like that. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to loop that ender and make it end a little further. Because, oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe this was where the problem was. It sounded fine now, but it wasn't because it's not supposed to end there. So we didn't need to loop shit. I'm just a fucking idiot. There was more to the track. There we go. I was gonna add more to that, but there it was. Oh, fuck yeah. There's all my good songs. All right, so let's add this one, Obsession. Badass track. Let's see. Okay, now this one, from what I can see, it could probably work a little further into here. So let's hear where. see how that goes. There we go. So pretty much you get the gist of this. It's way too fucking easy. By the way, I mean I had to learn this many years back only because, for example, there were days I was working for a radio station where they needed so many mixes and I couldn't be DJing from home and doing all that all day. I had neighbors and shit like that. I didn't have that kind of studio where I could, turn it up and shit. And the radio station did not have a setup, for me to go ahead and DJ live. So my only option was to go ahead and make mixes on my computer. And that's how I did it. But I did it with SoundForge. And SoundForge basically was just something like this. Actually, not as good as this. Nowhere near as good as this. But I was working on a PC. SoundForge was what I found available during that time. And it did what I needed it to do. And it allowed me to record. Sometimes I could record my sets and then, clean them up if anything, later. Cut them shorter or whatever, I needed to do. Or if I made a terrible fucking mistake or something, I could actually, do over. And it gave me those options, fuck it. If you're going to be recording yourself, might as well, give them something extra special. And I did. And then one day, my PC fucking caught fire. And that was the end of that. So I needed to get a computer. I bought a Mac because everybody said Mac was the shit. And when I went to go get SoundForge for Mac, I found out it was only available for PC. So I tried to turn my Mac into a PC, the whole, thing, and work SoundForge. And somebody told me about Ableton and said, dude, you work on Ableton and you will never want to work on any other fucking software again. So that's what I did. I jumped on Ableton and, dude, I fucking love this shit. You can do anything you want to do on Ableton. It's just fucking, you just have to be aware. You have to understand shit, understand MIDI, understand, quantizing, understand, VSTs and, getting all your effects and sounds and everything, just, adding to it. That's it. That's all you got to do. So this is basically what I've been doing for today. This small set, once again, I'm going to extend this set to an hour. So I have a lot more tracks that I could put on in this. But we added an intro. We made the mix so far into 20 minutes. So I could still add another 40 minutes of music. And here's from the beginning. So we got that little intro. And then came over here. Did a very simple EQ and actually no, just a simple volume. Let's see how this sounded again. And it comes in right over here. Smooth as can be. Smooth. Now, mind you, people, just really quickly, you could take this to another level. You could, mega mix shit up. You could go ahead and come in and say, fuck, I want to add an extra beat to this. Let me see. I want to drop some Miami bass lines, let me see, like And just imagine that, let's say, for example, I think it would start from here. Imagine.
I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready.
Well, that's an example. That's an example of shit you could do. And, you have all these options and bass lines, drop some effects from back in the day. Oh, that's it. And here we go. Some builders. Instrumental. Let's see. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh no. Box. Imagine you just drop that in there, for example.
I am ready. I am ready. I am ready.
So yeah, whatever the case. All right, I'm done. If you have any questions or whatever, just go ahead and message. Check it out. Enjoy. Peace. Oh, fucking tired. Let's see. Where was I? All right. Done.